Hey guys, what's up? Itchla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides Witchla, and today has been a pretty fantastic day, if I do say so myself. I mean, nothing particularly great happened, but that's what I felt like saying, so that obviously means something, doesn't it? I would think so. I would think so. But we're off for another episode of Car Rides Witchla. And what else is there really to talk about? Absolutely nothing. We figured it all out. We figured out everything. There's no reason to think. There's no reason to consider anymore. I've philosophized it all. And that's it. What do we think? What do we think about that consensus, that verdict? Anyways. The thing that I just talked about and kind of brought up and figured out is this very simple concept that life cannot care for life. It's impossible for life to care about life. Isn't that an interesting thing? I never really thought about it before. But it's life cannot care about life. And it's more accurately conscious life cannot care about conscious life. But I suppose you could make the argument that life cannot care for life is still accurate, definitionally, because we can come to the conclusion that life at an equal level of consciousness cannot care for itself. Meaning, I think that in our capacity, we as a human are able to care for a dog better than a dog could care for another dog. It's just not really possible for something of an equal conscious to care for something properly of an equal conscious. And I would say the same goes for humans, obviously. Humans cannot care for humans. It's impossible given our limitations in feelings, perceptiveness, empathy, whatever you call it. Most feeling or care for one another is mostly a mirage. It's not really anything rooted in anything. And so it's an important thing to understand, because that is the truth. The truth that I've been at odds with, and I've been upset at other people for not acting a certain way. But the truth is that I'm the glitch. Like, something is wrong with me that is allowing me to tap into life further than a lot of people, somehow, some way. And it's very strange. But this is the hand I've been dealt. This is the hand I've been dealt. This is what we are dealing with. So what can you do? What can be done? I don't think too much. You know? It's basically, and the thing is too, is I thought of this idea in the spiritual sense, or in a, metaphorical sense or whatever. But apparently there's also just clear science to back this up. Apparently it's, our brain, or maybe our nervous system mitigates 99% of sensations because if it didn't, it would be way too much to bear or something like that, which I think is very interesting, obviously, to think about, because it means that this concept I just randomly touched upon, it's actually very real. It's not like something I just thought of and it sounds realistic or something, or it's like it's just some spiritual concept. No, it's true. Our nervous system cannot run at full tilt. And so this leads me to believe that for whatever reason, my nervous system has a higher capacity or something along those lines. I'm not really sure how else to describe it or how else it feels, because I think that's just the truth, that there's a higher capacity at play. And that would explain a lot in terms of memory, but most importantly, memory of feelings, because the body is meant to forget, allegedly. And, this is something I'm going to have to look further into, of course, because I haven't really, this is all very preliminary information that I have access to, that I'm just kind of learning about and dealing with. And it's interesting, it's fascinating to me, because I never really thought about it before. Somehow I just never really considered it or something, which is very odd. I think it's very odd. Sorry, I'm like not used to all these cars. It's very odd that I never thought about it before. I think so, at least. Because it's something I definitely should have conceived of. I mean, I don't know. But life cannot appreciate life. Life is unable to care for life unless it's below it. Unless it's below itself. So us as humans would need a higher form of life to feel properly cared for. And so at this rate, we can assume that's really never going to happen for me, unless an alien came along, and I'd probably be able to be good friends with them. And I don't even care about aliens. That's the funny thing. Like, everybody's very fascinated with aliens, but I mean, I'm into them, but I'm not into all the, I guess, the hype around it, like thinking about it and being all crazy about it and such. I mean, I think it's super cool, but I just I don't know. Or again, robots being able to create like a higher than human form. Because again, that's the truth. The truth is that my memory is stronger, but my memory of feelings is stronger. I remember experiences better than people. And that is what causes so much of the frustration in my connections with others. It's this ability for me to just remember feelings so clearly, and then other people can't really remember them at all. And that obviously creates this disparity that can't be fixed. It's a disparity that can't be solved, and the other person gets frustrated with me, and now I'm getting punished because I have a superior comprehension. Isn't it crazy how that works? I think so. I think it's pretty crazy. But it is such a cool concept. I mean, wow, life can't appreciate life. Life can't know life. You have to be operating outside of life in order to appreciate it. Because it's obvious. It's obvious now to me that I always appreciated life so much more than others, or valued it. Valued conscious thought. It shows because nobody wants to cultivate consciousness. Nobody values that. Because if people did, things would obviously look quite different. If people cared and valued higher level thinking or deeper thinking, you wouldn't see the incentive structures that exist within social hierarchy or society at large. It would look totally different. It would just look completely different all around. Not much else to it. But that's the interesting thing. It's the interesting thing about being incarnate in this existence, is that I don't even think I think to myself, and I've said this, I feel behind. I feel like something got missing. I lost something as I grew older. But I think in some ways that's just kind of a perceptive thing, in that in a lot of ways I've actually just continued to grow, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I think it's true. I think that I have continued to grow, just in different ways. Just different now. It just doesn't feel the same, but it's possible that whatever excitement I had and mental exploration I had just felt stronger because it was much fresher. But in terms of the amount of time I spend in conscious thought and even speed of thoughts, it's entirely possible more of them take place now. I think as a speaker, as a thinker, my skills probably improved. Even though I always doubt that, and I doubt if things can be replicated or if they'll ever be the same, and they probably won't ever be the same as a past stage in my life. Even back when I first started this show, they're probably not going to be the same. you know? But in terms of like any actual loss, I don't know if it's fair to say that that's occurred. Because it's just like the amount, especially with this show and then now Walks with Slaw. I mean, I'm putting so much effort into chronicling and recording so much precious content. I mean, how can you say that that is for nothing? I don't know that I agree with that or really get that. So even though I kind of worry about that, I don't know. I think I'm doing pretty okay. Of course, it would be nicer to be able to dedicate more time, but I'm not young anymore. I have a job, so I can't just be a philosopher, at least not yet. I actually remember, so yeah, we're 19 minutes in. I remember the actual thing I wanted to get to, and it's the idea that more and more is passive and watched as opposed to actively engaged with. Meaning, if you think about every generation that comes about, there is now more and more past content to watch. So that's movies, TV shows, even books. I mean, every piece of literature we have constantly becomes more and more reflective because it's trying to move forward, but it's becoming increasingly more and more complicated for a new piece of media to be able to differentiate itself. So once one movie or show or book plays with a certain concept, then it can become difficult for that same one, for a different movie to play with the same concept. And eventually, you're out of ideas. Or the ideas that do exist are quite complicated in order to get there. But my generation spends a lot of time watching. Not actively doing, but watching. We spend time watching social media, watching people live out our dreams, while most of us never will, and the inevitability of that. Trapped in lives we no longer see as special because we've seen what's possible. And this stuck feeling is an abuse of capitalism. People spending money they don't have to keep up because they figure, what's the point? These behaviors impact us. They impact us largely. And you have to wonder how things would look if the mentality was different. If people could just ignore or even judge and criticize some people. That's really what this world needs. Would bring about some kind of hope. Something that's completely lost due to the lack of said thing occurring. My apologies. I'm getting another tired rush. This keeps happening while I'm driving. Like, this is not a good sign. Because it's weird. Because then so we cycle from these two different issues. It's either that, because I feel like when I woke up this morning, I didn't even feel that tired. Like, I either wake up and I feel tired, and then once I get over that, the rest of the day I'm fine. Or I wake up and feel great, and then the rest of the day it's not good. Or I have these moments, especially when driving, of just fatigue. And I know what someone's going to say. Well, it's because of which sleep cycle you happen to wake up during. And if you wake up during REM, then you're likely going to be feeling great. If you wake up during the other ones, not so great. But I don't think that's all there is to it. So, there's my counter argument. I don't think that's all there is to it. But it is, of course, pretty weird. I would say so. Pretty weird. Oh my gosh, I just want to go to sleep. Just want to sleep. So I lost my spark. My spark's gone. That's what I'm saying. Where there's just no way the car rides with schlas are as efficient. I mean, I'm always gonna do them, but I just think with the walks with schla, they're shorter. I'm walking. This, it's just kind of like, I don't even know. I mean, I felt like I just fell asleep for the past who knows how long. Maybe you guys will agree that episode just felt like me literally sleeping. It's possible. It's possible. Wow. The bed would really feel good now. Well, luckily, the bed is not too far. It's not too far away. I don't know what I would have done if I still had to be there, though. Like, what? I wanted to run today, too, and I had so much energy. These energy fluctuations are kind of weird. I actually felt... I think you remember the beginning of the episode when I said I felt great or something. Well, the reason why... Wait, this actually doesn't make any sense. I think I'm starting to... like... follow daydreams a little bit too closely. That's what I think's starting to happen. It's just like, because basically, I'm not even going to explain it, but I feel like there could have been something that I thought of or that had happened that didn't actually happen. It was basically like a dream, but it was a daydream. It was something quick and non-important. Maybe I had this in a dream at some point. So that would be like dreamception or something, because it's like something that happened in a dream. Caused me to have a dream about the plot as sort of an extension, if that makes any sense. Yeah, wow, I just don't understand, because I just want to take note of this, because I was very hype, and I really got hit with this like hard thing, and that doesn't even make sense, because I didn't eat sugar. My lunch was just my beef and cheese, and I know that can spike the blood glucose if you have too much, but I don't think I did. Like, I don't, because I eat this all the time, and this like never happens. Oh, I guess, I mean, maybe it's water, but I don't think I'm that badly hydrated. Yeah, I don't know what it could be. Yeah, it's just weird. Because it was also when I was like, why is it when I'm driving? What about driving is making me so exhausted? But I was feeling so good earlier. That's the thing that's crazy. Like earlier I was thinking like, wow, I'm gonna run when I get home. I'm gonna do all this stuff. Now I'm like, I just want to go to sleep. Such a weird change. Just basically since getting in the car, but it wasn't immediate. It wasn't like an immediate thing upon getting in the car. It was something that happened, afterwards, really. Like as I started talking a little bit more and all. Wasn't like instantly I was just tired in my car or anything like that. Just weird. I don't know. Hope it doesn't keep happening. But besides that, I've overall been feeling very good. I think it's a combination of the cold and the restoration of my precious cheese in my diet, because that stuff really hits the spot, I have to say. I just have to say it. I'm sorry. I can't keep doing this stuff. These episodes, like, I have to be up. You know, I have to be. This is crazy. This is, like, actually crazy what's happening right now. I would, like, I know I was, like, why, how is, I don't even know. I'm, like, at a loss for, because I've been doing this for so long. And I know there had been times I felt kind of tired, but not usually on the way home. That's like super unusual. So, yeah, I just think it's weird. I think the whole situation is weird, but I actually did low-key want to take a nap at some point when I got home, but now it's like too far, you know? Now I'm like, but I didn't really want to, like wanted to resist that desire because I wanted to try to muscle through it. And now I don't know if I can muscle through it. I may just have to, which is, again, not really what I was intending on doing. I wanted to go on a run and everything and, like, do a lot of good stuff like that. But I just think I'm gonna be too lazy. Which is not good. Not a good mindset, and it's not a good habit. But hopefully I'm just reminiscing to this thing when I was a kid. I guess I don't know why this just came to me, but after I learned how to ride my bike for a few years, I eventually thought, oh, I could ride without the handlebars, like I could let go. And so I had this idea to like let go and pretend as if I could telepathically control the handlebars or something like that. And so that's what I would do, like, while riding the bike, is be riding it with hands on the handlebars and then take hands off the handlebars and fold them as if I was praying or meditating or something, and then quickly have to unfold them and put them back on the handles to adjust from time to time, usually with just my fingers. So I was avoiding most of the problems. And yeah, it was just like interesting. And I remember my dad told me, like, don't do that or something. Like he was like, you shouldn't do that. I forget exactly what he said, but yeah, I don't know, that memory just came back to me. I also remember I wanted to learn how to ride a bike in a normal way, and it really was not difficult at all. I kind of just did it like first try. And that isn't really what I wanted, because at the time I was like 5 years old, and my parents didn't have to show me any tutorial. And I just think that's weird. Because I really expected that, because in so many kids shows back then, you had that, like, dad teaching their son how to ride a bike, or even my mom, but they were both like, my dad was like, oh, well, you know, it already seems like you're doing it right. So he was kind of like, I don't think I really need to do anything. It was kind of funny because I basically wanted to struggle based on what I had seen in TV shows and stuff, because a lot of kids animations would do that. They would have the people. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Alright, I'm so close to being home, then I can finally rest, but I really have to just a little bit longer. But yeah, I think a lot of people. Oh my gosh. They do that, treat you like your property is nothing and their property is everything. And that's just crazy. Because really, I'm not sure what I was gonna say. But what I can say is that it's been schla and now it's time to buy schla. So, see you schla.